So today we'll continue with the water pollution again, and this phenomena is called eutrophication. Under water pollution, the topic I am discussing today is called eutrophication. What is eutrophication? Hey, started already. So what is eutrophication? Eutrophication is aging of lake or pond water. Aging মানে কোথায় কি এজিং মানে বুড়ো হয়ে যাওয়া না বয়স বেড়ে যাওয়া বুড়ো না বয়স বেড়ে যাওয়া that is aging. So if it happens to a water body, that is also aging, called eutrophication. That phenomenon is called eutrophication. What is that? Okay, you have a newly formed lake or newly formed some pond. Slowly what happens, it is getting contaminated with different type of ingredients, natural ingredients people are using for several purposes. So pollutant level slowly is going up. Level is going up, pollutant level is going up for several reasons. Nearby there is a crop field, so these farmers are giving fertilizer. That fertilizer in the rainy season washed from the crop field and going to be added into the water reservoir, and slowly the accumulation of this phosphate, nitrate, phosphate, everything will increase. Yes, BOD will increase, no doubt, increase. So this way it will be increased. There are other sources also. Nitrogen content is added by acidic rainfall, rainwater. It is NO2 gas dissolved in the water and getting added up. So nitrogen content is increasing. Phosphorus content is increasing by fertilizer, and that way all are getting added. And this phenomena is making the lake water toxic. And the process that it is happening is called the eutrophication. There are two types of eutrophication. One is called natural, other one is artificial, human, man-made. Okay, natural eutrophication is happened by itself. Nobody has any role into it. It happens. Even in the forest it will happen. Okay, because plant leaves or dead animals that are getting added into the water will make the water slowly pollute, that nutrient rich. It will become nutrient rich. But that nutrient is not our nutrient, bacterial nutrients. It will increase. That phenomenon is called natural eutrophication. But whenever it happens due to our activity, man-made activity, so in that case we call it cultural eutrophication. Cultural eutrophication. So natural eutrophication and cultural eutrophication. These two things there. This is like this. This is eutrophication. So original lake was not like this, freshly formed lake, and see slowly what happened. Totally it is becoming a shallow land, marshy land. Marshland is formed. So marshland, Jolajimi, marshland. So MARSH, marshland. So that is called this type of marshland. This is marshland. This happened. Slowly it is happening. Different animal is going to die here and getting mixed with this, and that way what happens, lot of nutrient content is nutrient rich water level. So plant will grow very fast. Weeds, not good plants, weeds will grow, aquatic weeds will grow, and it will cover up the whole area. And this phenomenon is eutrophication. It happens by natural activity, natural eutrophication. If it is happening due to human activity, cultural eutrophication. Human activity means some people are washing their cows also into the water body. Okay, washing cows means it has got lot of dirt and that bacteria, etc. all are getting added into the water. People are washing clothes, washing utensils. I am talking about village area. People are using pond. Yes. People are using. So then slowly the level of the pollution level goes up, BOD goes up and DO goes down. BOD and DO just opposite. If BOD is high, DO must be low, and if DO is high means BOD is low. Okay, so that means low pollutant content. Some examples. This lake is before eutrophication it is like this, and after eutrophication it will become marshy. And the process is like this: nutrient load getting added up from several sources, plant flourish, grow, decompose, and it further depletes the oxygen and death of the ecosystem. Slowly it is getting added up. There is a, and what is the step one? Nutrient load up. Nutrient getting added. That is called nutrient load. Added up. Then number two, plants flourish. As there is a lot of food available, plant will grow enormously. What type of plant? Aquatic weeds. That will grow enormously. Water hyacinth, kochuri pana. Okay, there are so many others also aquatic species there. Aquatic plants, below the water, on the surface of the water. Below the water, jhanji. Above the water, pana. Okay. Both are available. So this aquatic bloom is very fast here, plant growth. And after this plant growth, third level, algal bloom, algae bloom. Lot of algae will be produced because of enormous quantity of food available. So it will grow very fast. And if they grow, after some time they die also. And that death will make the water highly polluted. Okay, when they are growing, no problem. And when they are dying, that is creating more trouble. And water is becoming toxic. And the color is coming. Originally the color should be colorless. Water should be colorless. Slowly they will get different color. Greenish tint, reddish color appearance because of different phytoplankton and zooplankton. Planktons. These are unicellular microscopic organisms called planktons floating on the surface. Green, sometimes you find a very thin layer on the water surface. Okay, green colored thin layer. Have you seen? But these are planktons. If you see, different type of planktons are there. Lot of planktons. And phytoplankton and zooplankton. Okay. And fish is usually eating those. So that is the food for fish. Sources of eutrophication. Factory, households, different sources are there. Industry, cottage industry, all sources are there. This is getting adding into the same water body, adding. Nitrogen compounds produced by cars and factories. For some of the example actually, is coming from discharge, coming from different industries, households, etc. Making the water slowly polluted. And if it is for example, I can say Powai Lake, Mumbai, Powai Lake, Powai, Powai. IIT Bombay at Powai. The place is called Powai. IIT Bombay, the place is called Powai, Powai. And that is based on the lake, name of the lake, that is Powai Lake. Powai Lake. Earlier, it was one of the good reservoir into water reservoir into Bombay. But nowadays, this water is not utilizable because it has got eutrophic. That eutrophic lake means it is not usable. Oligotrophic means it is usable. Mesotrophic is medium. Low nutrient, medium nutrient, high nutrient. Low nutrient is called oligotrophic lake. Medium nutrient is called mesotrophic lake. And high nutrient content is called your eutrophic lake. And this nutrient does not mean here good food here. Nutrient means here bacterial nutrient. So bacteria will grow very fast. That's why the water is not suitable for drinking or any other purpose.
So which one is best for the cases?
Or eutrophic. Effect of this eutrophication. Oxygen content of this water goes down. No. কি বললাম লো নিউট্রিয়েন্ট কন্টেন্ট অলিগোট্রফিক লো নিউট্রিয়েন্ট কন্টেন্ট যেটা এবার নিউট্রিয়েন্ট কন্টেন্ট শুড বি লো সো দ্যাট দেয়ার ক্যানট বি এনি algal bloom or any type of plant growth or bacterial growth. That water will be. Now here what is happening day by day, different runoffs through the sewage plant, effluent, everything getting mixed together, oxygen level going down, and that's why aquatic species cannot survive in this water. And slowly that is the effect. Ultimately the ecosystem of this water body will be totally damaged because this will die out. Slowly all aquatic species will die out and this water will be a simply accumulation of dead water. Nothing can survive there. Ecosystem is totally damaged. Now what are nutrients? Carbon available as CO2, nitrogen from fertilizer, nitrogen from air. Nitrogen from air, how possible? In N2 plus O2 mixed together during thunderfall, giving NO and NO2 mixed with water, producing nitrous and nitric acid. Then along with the rainfall is falling into the water bodies. Okay, that way nitrogen content is getting added into the water. So phosphorus by acid. So phosphorus from detergents, phosphorus from fertilizers, DAP. So triple superphosphate. This type of fertilizer people are using, this is called chemical fertilizers. So from this type of chemical fertilizers, water is getting rich of nutrient, and if it is becoming rich of nutrients, more bacterial growth, more undesirable plant growth will be very high, and main problem when they die, they will add lot of nutrients into the water bodies, and ultimately the water becomes unutilizable. So this is called phosphatic fertilizer. This is phosphatic fertilizer. It is called sodium triphosphate. Triphosphate. Triphosphate, because this is phosphate, this is phosphate, this is phosphate. Triphosphate. These are all coming from detergents. Phosphatic fertilizers, phosphatic materials, chemicals coming from detergents. Different type of fertilizers people are using. These are all fertilizers and their chemical formula. These fertilizers are used. Triphosphate formula is this, plus water, and we are getting phosphate. Triphosphate to orthophosphate is formed. Triphosphate to orthophosphate is formed. This type of reaction happens. Three classes of aquatic system: oligotrophic, mesotrophic, and eutrophic. Already I told you. Oligotrophic means low nutrient content, poor nutrient content, medium, and high. These three types of these lakes quality are there. First of all, the lake is like this. This is oligotrophic. This is oligotrophic. Now slowly the nutrient is getting added up, and you get filled up, partially becoming shallow, and it is mesotrophic. And after that it is almost filled up. Some amount of water on the surface only. That is called eutrophic. This water is best quality, this is poor quality, and this is not usable. This becomes green. See the color change. This is blue, clear blue water. This is becoming greenish tint has appeared, and this is totally green, full of phytoplankton. That's why green. Phytoplanktons are green. That's why it is looking green. Now, how do you control the eutrophication phenomena? How do you control? Restriction of nutrients, difficult to control carbon and nitrogen. Restriction of nutrients means how do you restrict the nutrient? We can do one thing. I can give you a very good solution that is not written somewhere around here. So what can you do? We will not use fertilizer. If you don't use fertilizer, we cannot get sufficient food. Okay? The cost of vegetable is increasing day by day. And if you don't use fertilizer, the production will be so low, practically it will be beyond our reach. The cost of the vegetable will become so high that you cannot buy it from the market. So what is the way then? To reduce the pollution. This pollution is also a very serious problem nowadays. So what can you do? We can do one thing. Fertilizers, we can bind with some nanomaterials. And that nanomaterial will be added into the soil. And it will be bound to the soil. Nanomaterial bound to the soil, which is a polymer actually, polymer matrix bed. And the other end of the polymeric matrix is joined to our fertilizer. So fertilizer will not be washed away. That is the only solution. We will use fertilizer 1/3 quantity, 1/3 is good enough. So much of fertilizer we are using, we can reduce the quantity to 1/3. Bound the fertilizer, don't allow it to become free. Free fertilizer will be lost in a day, but bound fertilizer will be year after year it can run. Make it bound. Don't allow it to flow. Jane maddo, pakad ke rakho. Nanomaterials, different type of nanomaterials, polymeric matrix are there. Okay, this polymeric matrix, small chain, then it has got some capability that it can bound with the soil. One end is bound to the soil, and other end is bound to the fertilizer. दोनों को पकड़ के रखा, soil के साथ उसको बांध के रखा.
So it
तो
is not harmful for this plant?
no, this is a polymer. Slowly it will be degraded. It will be degraded slowly. This polymer is your biopolymers. Nowadays, people are more interested about the biopolymers instead of chemical polymers. Biopolymers. And these biopolymers will be degraded slowly and mixed with the soil itself without any trouble. And this itself is in polymeric matrix, which is some sort of protein. So it will add some nitrogen to the soil. Nothing bad. Only it will add some more amount of nutrient into the soil. And we want nutrient. Every year we are adding huge quantity of tons of fertilizer. We can reduce it to 1/3. It is possible. That research is going on in a very fast way, and you will very soon you will see these effects. And maybe it is already applied. We don't know. When it is coming in the market, always it is not so visible. Maybe it has come in the market already. Not in the market, maybe in the crop field. It is going to the crop field. So how do you know? So this is the latest research. So do you know this nanotechnology research? What we are learning nowadays, of thinking it is new. It is found in the Egypt also. It was there in the pyramid. That means our human culture, civilization, sometimes forgetting some technology and reinventing it after maybe 1,000 of years. We are reinventing again. Something lost, forgotten, totally forgotten. Nobody knows. After that, again you are regenerating, making it new. A fresh research is going on, and again you are making it again. And civilization is always proceeding like that. We had lot of these things, technology already in the ancient era, which is nowadays lost. And maybe we are again reinventing it in a new way, new fashion, and we are giving the name. Okay, we have got some new technology. Nothing new. It was maybe thousands years old. We already lost, forgotten. So in the Misor Egypt pyramid, some sort of models are found, which is very good jet plane model. Jet plane model, thousands of years back. When your aeroplane was not discovered, then how they have got that model? How jet plane model was there? Tell me. Okay? In the ancient culture it was there, we forgot. It is not, I am not talking about only that India or everywhere. Okay, so now, and okay, one solution I told you, very good solution. That can be one way that you minimize the fertilizer. Achha, another, nowadays people are using lot of pesticide in the crop field. Without pesticide, you may think why pesticide will add. You don't add. If you don't add pesticide, you don't get any food. सब कीड़े खा जाएगा, तुम्हारे लिए कुछ नहीं छोड़ेगा. Everything will be eaten. You will not get anything. Yes, everything will be eaten up, and you will not get a handful. कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. So you have to apply something, right? But bio alternatives are there, and maybe in future we will be using only bio alternative. Nowadays chemical alternatives are actually cheaper. That's why people are using chemicals. But chemical has got a problem. If you use the same chemical again and again and again, that all these insects are becoming resistant to that chemical, and after some time it will not work. Just like bacteria. Okay, with one your medicine, if you are continuously giving the same medicine, tablet or capsule, suppose azithromycin, continuously using azithromycin, again azithromycin, again azithromycin, maybe it will become totally resistant, and the person, azithromycin will not work on that person. From the childhood, the person is eating the azithromycin whenever required. Okay, Since after in the old age it may not work because he has used so many azithromycin, too much of azithromycin. It may not work again. So it happens. So it becomes resistant, and it is common for everything. Nowadays you see cockroach is coming back, mosquito coming back. You are giving sort of a lot of heat spray. Nothing is happening. They are giving lot of advertisement, but practically is nothing. Not doing what? Why? Because it is well-known medicine, and they are already evolved in such a way they are not getting any trouble out of that chemical. And they are older than us. That you know. These insects are older than us, much older, ancient age. They are coming from ancient, 200, so many crores of years back it was there. Cockroach was there crores of years back. But what is our age? What is our civilization? 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 years, not more than that. So this dredging maybe you have heard about dredging. Suna hoga. So actually depth of the river slowly is going becoming shallow. Depth is going up. Okay, depth कम हो रहा है धीरे धीरे. Okay, and that you can recover by dredging, by cutting. There is some specific machine attached to some ship or some sort of vehicle actually. So there it is attached, and you can cut it up and dump into river bank. But the problem is you have to. This is very costly idea. Dredging is a very costly idea. It's not so simple. Lot of money will be required for doing that. That's why maybe always not possible. As oil pollution is a problem, we have to just give some focus on that. Sometimes we are having some carrier which is carrying lot of tons of oil. Which oil? Crude oil. Carrying the crude oil from one place to another place. We are carrying it from Saudi Arabia. We are carrying it from Iraq, Iran. Okay. So how do you carry it? It's easy to say carrying it, but how do you carry it? Usually by marine lines. Marine lines. By marine lines we are carrying it. And there is a crack in the tank. There can be crack in the tank by some sort of accident also it may happen. There is a cut or crack in the tank, and water, oil spillage is there into the marine world. Okay, there is a leakage, and the oil came out, and where the oil will go, it will float on the surface. Once it floats on the surface, how do you get it back? Tons of oil, so many tons of oil. It is lost forever. One way it is lost forever, and number two, it is giving a layer on the surface. Oxygen cannot penetrate. So by suffocation all the aquatic animals will die. They will just die out of suffocation. Because they are taking oxygen from the water, and water is getting oxygen from air. If there is not replenished, oxygen is not getting added up, sometime oxygen will be consumed, and after that all will suffocate and die. So this is the situation. This is called oil spillage problem. How does it occur? Cargo tanker carrying petrol, diesel, offshore petrol exploration, accidental fire, leakage from oil pipelines. These are the sources of oil pollution. फट गया oil tank, फट गया oil pipe, okay, or otherwise leakage हो गया, possible. So out of that the oil is getting spread into the ocean. Nowadays that's why there is a sucker unit come. It has come, but nothing is free in the world. If you used to run the sucker to get the oil, sufficient oil should be there, otherwise it will be very costly. Means economically not viable. If you get sufficient oil quantity by the sucking, maybe it is economical, otherwise it is not economical. These are the problems, inherent problems. Okay. So sometimes we can do this thing, do that thing, we are theoretically discussing, but practically not doing. Why? Not becoming economical. We are getting some amount of gas under the ground. You may think, okay, if you take the gas out, well, I can sell in the market and get price. But taking it out may be more costly compared to the selling price. Will you do that? No, you will not do that. And that happens. Under BC Engineering College there is some gas. But can you take it out? No, you cannot. Because it is not economically viable. Sometimes it happens like that way. If you have sufficient quantity, you go ahead. If you don't get sufficient quantity, we ignore. थोड़ा सा ही मिलेगा क्या करेंगे? Costing नहीं आएगा. You have a lot of cost involved, na? If you want to perform some sort of activity, mining activity, huge cost involved. So you have to get the benefit. Otherwise, why people will do that? अच्छा, तो oil spillage problem affects the entire marine life, prevents light to pass through, no photosynthesis of marine plants, and if the no photosynthesis of marine plants, then aquatic small microscopic plants will die. Zooplankton, phytoplankton, all will die, and those who are eating them also will die. You know whale, people are eating whale. आदमी लोग खाता है ना. अच्छा, तो what are the effects of eating whale? তিমি মাছ খেয়ে ফেললে কি হবে? That is the point. কি হবে খেয়ে ফেললে? কেন? বলেছিলাম. Exactly. So remember, very good. I already told that the whale is going up and down. They are circulating the water, and from the bottom they are carrying the nutrient to the top. They are carrying the nutrient to the top unknowingly. It is not doing purposefully, but it is got a habit or continuously going up and down and carrying the nutrient with it. And that's why the upper level, surface level, aquatic small plants and animals, they are eating that nutrients. And if the whales are not there, they will die out because of lack of food or oxygen. Up and down also circulating oxygen. They are jumping up in the air and coming back, like dolphin. They are also jumping up in the air and then coming back to the water. That way, a lot of oxygen circulation is there, and oxygen is getting added in the water. If that is not done, then stagnant water will not have sufficient oxygen so that everyone can survive. Okay. And what is the main requirement of aquatic animals? नहीं रहेगा तो हमारा क्या? Aquatic animals नहीं रहेगा तो हमारा क्या? जानना चाहिए. Aquatic animals नहीं रहेगा तो हमारा कुछ प्रॉब्लम है? पूरा इकोसिस्टम कोलैप्स हो जाएगा. पूरा इकोसिस्टम कोलैप्स हो जाएगा. और इकोसिस्टम कोलैप्स हो गया तो तुमको मछली नहीं मिलेगा. And not only that, the water will become toxic. You cannot use it for any purpose because they will all die, ना. अगर सब मर गए एक साथ, तो पानी इतना गंदा हो जाएगा, वो पानी कोई काम का लायक ही नहीं रहेगा. But still, marine water we are using. Hey, marine water क्या काम कर रहे हैं हम लोग? What we are doing with marine water? नमक निकालते हैं. और सब मर के उधर सड़ गया, तो नमक कैसे निकालेंगे? Fact, ना? We will be also in trouble. Oxygen blocked, endangering birds, fishes and aquatic organisms. All these factors are told. Major marine oil spill incidents. कब कहाँ हुआ था? Oil incident, these accidents. Oil spillage accidents or incidents. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. ये सब बड़ा एक्सीडेंट का लिखा हुआ है. छोटा वाला थोड़ी लिखा हुआ है. बहुत सारे छोटा मोटा है जिसको लिस्ट में नहीं आया. जो बहुत बड़ा है वही लिस्ट में है. क्लीन अप का कॉस्ट देखो. क्लीन अप करने का कॉस्ट बहुत हाई. क्लीन अप बहुत मुश्किल. ये सब टेक्निक नहीं क्लीन अप का टेक्निक मेथड. हाँ, आफ्टर क्लीन अप ऑयल को, हाँ, साकर को साक करके निकाल के you can suck it out. Then there is a sucker into our petrol pump also. That nozzle, through that nozzle when you are taking the petrol, so there is a instrument can be attached here so that the vapor can be sucked in. Vapor going in the air now, don't allow it to go into the air, collect it. At least a few drops of oil you get for every time you fill up. So that way they are actually filling thousands of vehicles per day, so the quantity will not be less. Continuously if you can accumulate, the quantity is not less. You may think, okay, it's a small quantity, but small quantity for 1,000 multiply, it is not small quantity. It is a quite good amount quantity. A few liters at least you can save every day. So that's why this is advantageous, adding some sucker into every nozzle system. Because you have to add only once, एक बार लगाना है. So continuously every day तुमको benefit मिलेगा. तो So it will be actually economically beneficial. It's not a loss. So these are the technique by which you can clean up the water. Acidification of water. This is another problem. Just like oil spillage, there is another one called acidification of water. That is just like acid rain. Acid rain in the soil on the land mass and acidification of the lake. Aquatic organisms are very much pH sensitive. Okay, aquatic animals are very much pH sensitive. If the pH goes down, aquatic animal dies. अच्छा सोचो तुम लोग जानते हो कि काउडंग इज ए गुड फूड फॉर फिश. काउडंग फिश के लिए अच्छा है. तो बहुत सारे काउडंग लाके तालाब में डाल दिए तो क्या होगा पता है. नेक्स्ट डे देखोगे कि बहुत सारी मछली मार के ऊपर तैर रहे हैं या मर रहे हैं या तो मर गया. ऐसा देखोगे. पता है क्यों? बिकॉज दे आर वेरी मच पीएच सेंसिटिव. अगर तुम उसको काउडंग ऐड किया तो काउडंग विल बी फर्मेंटेड प्रोड्यूसिंग एसिड. सो इट विल एसिडिफाई द होल लेक और पॉन्ड. इट विल एसिडिफाई and the pH will go down and the water color will become red. Color change হয়ে যায়. কাউডাং দিলে কালার চেঞ্জ হয়ে যায় ওভারনাইট. হ্যাঁ, কাউডাং হচ্ছে গরু গোবর. So if you add into this pond, next day you will find the water has become red, brownish red. লালচে হয়ে যাবে কালারটা, অ্যাসিডিক হয়ে যাবে, ব্রাউনি একটা লালচে কালার চলে যাবে. অ্যান্ড প্রচুর মাছ দেখবো মারা গেছে একদম ন্যাচারালি. হঠাৎ করে দেখবো মরে গেছে, প্রচুর মাছ মরে ভাসছে. তো সলিউশন কি? ইউ হ্যাভ টু অ্যাড লাইম ইমিডিয়েটলি. বাট হোয়াট ইজ দ্য ওয়ে আউট দেন? কাউডাং অ্যাড করার প্রসেসটা এরকম না. কাউডাং ইউ হ্যাভ টু অ্যাড ইন দ্য ব্যাঙ্ক অফ দ্য লেক অর পন্ড. ধারে ধারে রাখতে হবে, জলে ঢেলে দিলে হবে না. টেকনিক জানতে হবে. ধারে ধারে ঢেলে দিলে কী হয়, জলটা দ্য ওয়াটার উইল স্প্ল্যাশ, ইট উইল স্প্ল্যাশ. ওকে, ধাক্কা মারেগা, ইট উইল স্প্ল্যাশ অ্যান্ড কাম ব্যাক very slowly, একটু করে slowly it will come and it will grow more phytoplanktons. You have to allow it to grow. Growth होगा धीरे धीरे. Phytoplankton growth will be there and fish will eat that. So মাছের খাবার তৈরি হবে. Cow is not মাছের খাবার. Got it? Okay? The fish, aquatic animal food will be made that way. But if you directly add, the water quality will become so toxic they cannot survive. So different toxic metals like lead, mercury, arsenic, etc. will become soluble. See, जमीन पानी का नीचे जमीन है ना, नीचे तो जमीन है. So in that you have different type of mineral matter. If your pH of that water goes down, it becomes acidic, it will dissolve more amount of heavy metals. Heavy metal will dissolve and the quantity of the heavy metal in that water will be high. So it will become toxic. The water will become so much toxic. See now, ocean water pH is slightly more than 8. Nowadays, hey, something important, listen. This ocean water pH is slightly more than 8 nowadays. Achha. Now in future, because of this acidification, if the ocean water becomes acidic, then what? It will become less than 8. So what will happen? Carbon dioxide absorption will become low because it is alkaline water. Slightly more than 8 means what? Alkaline water. So in this alkaline water, carbon dioxide will dissolve in a high rate. But in the acidic water, carbon dioxide will not dissolve because carbon dioxide is itself acidic. So what will be the effect then? Carbon dioxide will be more accumulated in the air, making air highly polluted. And nowadays what is happening? There is a nice balance mechanism. Carbon dioxide is getting absorbed by the ocean. That is the major absorber, scrubber. It is called oxygen carbon dioxide scrubber. And by this scrubbing, it is converted into bicarbonate and carbonate salt, which is getting deposited at the bottom. Carbonates are insoluble, getting deposited at the bottom. Okay, and these mollusks, coral, they are all getting this carbonate for making their body shell. Corals and their different type of shellfish. What they are doing, they are making their body cell that is made of calcium carbonate. Okay, so they are already alkaline. That's why they can survive. If it is acidic, they can none of them can survive. Mar jayega, or they will die because their outer coating will not be produced anymore because carbonate will dissolve. Acidic medium, carbonate will dissolve. Carbonate, everything will dissolve. Alkaline medium is insoluble. See the chemistry behind it. Okay. This is a buffer action. Carbonate and bicarbonate buffering action mechanism. There is a nice balance. Buffering action mechanism. Carbon dioxide, carbonate and bicarbonate. Nice balance. The balance will be totally lost if there is acidification. So what is the way then to reduce pollution? There is no other way. Climate. You want to make the climate normal. What is the way out? Removal of pollution. Pollution you will have to minimize, otherwise nothing can be done. Climatic correction. Climate correction, you know, climate condition. Climate is getting changed day by day. Climatic condition getting changed, which is alarming. Really alarming. So what can be done? Pollution control. Nothing can be done. No other way. And Earth is the only planet where it can survive. So if we cannot control pollution, then our mankind, civilization will be at stake. Civilization rahega nahi. And after civilization is gone, again nature will take care of everything. Natural correction will be there. Automatically it will be corrected. Everything will be corrected. Problem automatically solved. Lekin mankind nahi rahe. And you know mankind, how civilization is very only few in the cosmic scale, only a small time. In the cosmic scale, human civilization is very small time. So it will be wiped out and nature will take care of that. तुम लोग करेक्शन नहीं करोगे तो नेचर करेक्शन कर लेगा. डोंट वरी. हटा देगा ह्यूमन को, हटा देगा ह्यूमन को तो करेक्शन हो जाएगा ऑटोमेटिक.
जाओ हम अकेले रहेंगे.
नहीं अकेले क्यों, बहुत कुछ है ना. इंसान नहीं रहेगा तो क्या सो व्हाट. Nature will not cry for us.